What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the right side of the map in the blue color, playing as Zeus. His name is Kimo. He's spawning today in the red color, playing as Poseidon. His name is Matreiuss. Yes, look at this. Look at this. This is the way. This is absolutely the way to open up with Greek nowadays. Anything different? I mean, there's one other way to open up with Greek, but let me explain why this way is fantastic. So you go 3 villages on... Well, we'll go into more about this map, but I just love this build order, so I want to talk about it. You start off with 3 villages on food, and then you put 2 villages on wood and 2 villages on gold. What this allows you to do is by the time your next villagers come out of your town center, you can put 1 over onto the giraffe and go 4 here. It's fine because you've got 600 food. But by the time the villagers come out, they can move straight onto the secondary hunt. So there is no walking time needed to go from over here to over to the next hunt. And it's really, really good. So this build allows you to get 2 granaries, a temple, and have a really, really good time in the classical age. Whereas if we look at what Kimo did, where Kimo went 5 villages on this giraffe, and then he comes over and he gets his 2 villages on wood, 2 villages on gold. What that means is if these villages over here do not have hunt right in front of them, then it will have been an inefficient build order to begin with. Now, luckily here for Kimo, he will be able to simply just move these villages forward and not have any problems, so he doesn't actually get punished at all for this opener. But there is no real big difference now in this game because of that. But the small advantage here for Matreiuss will actually end up mattering in other maps, like say maybe an Oasis map or something like that, where things are fantastic. So we'll see how it's going to go. If we move over here to Matreiuss' perspective, the other thing that's really, really good about Poseidon in the early game, especially on maps which don't have 900 food and the starting base, is that you get this lure thing. And what the lure does is it allows you to get a perfectly clean 402 advance time. You can actually go 1 villager faster than 402, but the 402 advance time is probably the most clean, economic sound build you can do because everything comes out perfectly. But with this lure here, it just means that you can do that and your opponent can't necessarily do that. Now, there has been a couple of amendments, one might say, to the Greek build, where you go 2 villages food, 1 villager gold at the start, and it actually allows you to get a 402 with 600 food start and have a secondary hunt. It's really, really good. So even then, that Poseidon doesn't have that advantage even on this map, but maybe on a lower food map, say like a 500 food or a 400 food map, things start mattering a little bit more. So we'll see how things are going to end up going here for Kimo. As what ends up happening in this matchup is, generally speaking, the onus, as a big new word we don't use very often, the onus is on the Zeus player to win the map, to win the matchup. Because the late game, as maybe some of you might have experienced, is very, very tough to win from the Zeus perspective. Because your opponent is Poseidon, and Poseidon has this unit called Militia, which is a ridiculous unique bonus for the late game. Because what it means is, you make these things called stables, which already got cheaper, it costs 85 wood. But you make these things called stables, and if your opponent kills these stables, militia pop out, and then they defend. So it's really hard to clean up a side build with siege. You have to commit a lot to it. And not even just a side build, it's a whole bunch of other stuff as well. As the Kimo Jason going to come in, start harassing over here. We do already have a Theseus in here to help defend this, so Matreiuss is going to be completely fine here in this game. We'll see how things are going to go. As Hermes has got a choice here for Kimo. He's advancing a little bit late here. I'm a bit surprised about this. I mean, he did get a Jason out, but I just don't think there's a reason to go. I mean, if you wanted to go for a 430 with Jason, Jason takes, what, 7 seconds? 9 seconds to advance, to build? Is he getting a 439? Yeah, I don't think there's any reason to go any slower than 439 here. So we do see this relic getting picked up. Anvil of Hephaestus. That'll be a big help there for Kimo. because that's going to level the economic difference a little bit. So he might be able to hit something interesting in this game. And we'll see how it's all going to go. As Matreiuss now, see Hermes coming through here for Kimo finally, as the classic fast second town center coming up for Matreiuss. He hasn't actually thrown up any walls yet. Does he have anything in this corner? He does have an elephant in this corner. Does he know about it? That was the big question, because that might be why he's going for this town center here. But generally speaking, the Poseidon player in this matchup nearly always goes for a fast second town center. So you can actually find some serious advantages by taking by knowing that. So we'll see what Kimo's going to come up with. Now Kimo obviously not a Greek player. He's actually been training quite a bit of Zeus recently. So he's trying to level up his Zeus and find some victories here, and maybe have it as a pocket pick in a tournament or something when he finds a matchup that he really likes or understands. So we'll see how it's all going to go as the bolt comes down there onto the Hippolyta, as the centaur trying to get in. Nice little micro there from Matreiuss, but Kimo on top of it there controls his centaur beautifully. As Matreiuss is pulling back, we're starting to see the walls coming up. The villagers pulling back off of that hump there. We've got plenty of food still in the main base here for Matreiuss. And Matreiuss, oh, it's so sad. He doesn't know that there's an elephant back here. He's currently eating this food on the back. Maybe he does know it's there, and he's just happily eating the zebra on the front here first, as the villagers retreating back into the main base. And we'll see what Matreiuss's plans are here to deal with what Kimo's doing now. The question is, we do see a fast second town center-ish coming through for Kimo. He's gone double centaur, it seems, into a second town center. He's taken the villagers off of favor. And I don't mind this. Getting 3 centaurs is roughly all you need here to get the pressure that you want here for Zeus. I actually think you need more than 3 centaur. There's a centaur moving straight in onto this position. They see the villager here. We're going to get one shot in there and then retreat back. The centaur even won't see that elephant is there. So it's actually really... Oh, there he goes. He sees the elephant is there, but Matreiuss still doesn't know. Maybe it'll move out at some point. Matreiuss is like, oh, yeah, I'll take that, but who knows? Matreiuss's main aim now in this game is going to be getting to the heroic age. We'll see if he's going to be able to do that. He's going to get watchtowers up at some point. The villagers returning back. We do see the centaur coming in onto this position, going to be taking down a couple of villagers over here as Matreiuss not paying attention. One villager kill there, going to be retreating away. But so far, if you think about how many resources that Kimo has invested into these centaur, he's invested 200 wood plus 500... 200 wood plus 300 wood. So that's 500 wood total that he's invested into these centaur thus far. He's picked off 1 villager, 2 villagers now. So maybe he is finding some sort of a equilibrium here in this matchup as Kimo grabs this town center now. The other thing I would like to see is Kimo grabbing this town center next if he goes for 3 town centers here, but instead he's going for this back one, which I think is a little bit too conservative. He's got the advantage. He's got the map control. He should be grabbing that forward town center there. His opponent is making some Hippocon, but you also have Ceasefire to grab this. So you can go for that as well. But Kimo goes for the back town center, and that will allow Matreiuss here to simply just wall up the map, grab this town center, have a happy time. As we just see, look, the Odysseus being a little bit annoying here, as Matreiuss is going to have to pull off that location. Then we see hand axe coming through. He's going to drop maybe just move his villagers over here. Actually, he doesn't need to split them up. As we do see this centaur coming through. Nice retreat micro here from Matreiuss, keeping that centaur alive, picking off one of his opponents there as the Katoskopos over here getting involved. We do see the Eye of Ornlu getting picked up here. That's actually a fairly decent relic to grab there from the perspective of Matreiuss in this matchup, because he's going to be dealing with infantry coming forward from Kimo at some point. So having counter infantry bonus, which is what this relic gives you, is quite good. So we'll see if that's going to be an issue there for anyone coming forward. As now Kimo here, he's got himself all the villagers on food. The question is, where to next? Because he's getting favor in, which I think is good because he needs 35 favor for Forge of Olympus. But part of me feels like the right way to play here is to actually not drop any military buildings at all and just go straight to the heroic age. Maybe even go straight to the mythic age. Just drop walls everywhere, just as Matreiuss has done. Take control of the map and just play super defensively through and do an Apollo kind of strategy. So we'll see how it's all gonna shape up here. As the Matreiuss units starting to push forward on this location. We do see Kimo's centaur not paying attention. That does get sniped down. Nice play there for for Matreiuss. He's cleaned up all of those Centaur. Now, generally speaking, like, you can't lose Centaur in this matchup in the early game. You should not lose Centaur in this. There's no reason to. And I think that just comes down to Matreiuss being really, really good and Kimo not really being quite used to the Centaur here. He's now going to start seeing some walls getting thrown up, but these are a little bit late from Kimo's perspective because Matreiuss is out on the map. I'm going to start seeing some raids coming through. Matreiuss also grabbing himself this third town center over here as he's moving forward along the map. Going to drop some more walls down as well as these villages getting cleaned up over here already. Nice play from Matreiuss. Kimo here. He's now starting to produce some units here. A little bit behind the 8-ball, but he has got 3 town centers, so it's completely fine. And the other thing he's going to need here is a very, very clean farm transition. You've got 20 villages on wood here, but he is spending around about 5 of those villages on Toxotes here. So his farms are going to be a little bit slower than he might otherwise like here. As Kimo does move forward, he does see this town center coming up. Going to get a couple of villager picks here potentially as that town center is slowly but surely coming up here. We'll see him attempting to take these down, but we do see Matreiuss coming back with his units here to help take down these Toxotes and everything. We will be seeing the Centaur getting sniped. Nice play there from Kimo there. As the Odysseus is going to get cleaned up as well. And now the villager popping back. We do see the... What is happening here? See, the perfect farm's coming up for Matreiuss. This is the windmill formation, as people are calling it. The thing is that I actually don't think that these farms are actually that efficient. Because these 4 farms are all bad. I would much rather see 8 farms on a town center like this, or maybe if you can actually get a couple more, like maybe 10 farms or something, and then the rest going on to granaries and things like that. If you really want to be about it, but this what do you call it? Windmill formation farming is very funny. Like people use it as raw because they're going to be empowering the town center, and you get those villagers dumping in at the most efficient spot for 12 farms. But obviously, going on to a different location is going to be even better in terms of your efficiency. But it's funny now to see like Greek players also using it, and it doesn't really make sense. It's really good for Egyptian players if you're empowering it otherwise. Just put your farms on granaries and things like that. You do see this Theseus is trading his life there for a villager, and you will be losing that Theseus basically 3 HP. It's basically dead in a way. I feel like I explained myself pretty well, but we'll go into it once more. These farms here are not connected to the town center. They would be connected to a granary if they're over here. So these farms are good, right? You get 8 good farms on a town center. Just 8. You can only get 8 good farms on a town center, no more than 8. So unless your town center is being empowered, it is better to chuck your farms around onto a granary instead. So... I'm not trying to break anyone's mind here, but that's just the reality of the situation. Okay. And we're going to continue seeing Matreiuss getting these raids coming in. So Matreiuss here, he might be thinking about getting himself Spirited Charge and starting to take advantage of the map. So we'll see how it's all gonna end up happening here. As the villagers coming up over here, going to start dropping some walls over here. And all the other good stuff that's going to happen. But yeah, Kimo, I think the hard part about playing... Oh, I love these walls here from Matreiuss. I think the hard part about playing Zeus is being able to wall while you macro and while you have center. Because at this point, I feel like with Kimo having all of that map control in the start of the game with the center, you can really take advantage of it by just chucking your walls up at like, say, 6 minutes or 7 minutes into the game after you get your second town center. But instead, it's like a lot more APM as we do see the ceasefire getting dropped here. Matreiuss sitting at 144 or 145 population. Kimo sitting at the same, but just a little bit out of position here. And he is going up through Apollo. So if you can get to that level where you can chuck those walls up while everything is going on in the early stages of the game, you're going to be finding yourself having so much more advantage with Zeus otherwise. So both players have got their cheek. I mean, Kimo kind of messed it up. So sad. He needs to. You gotta go. What do? You start this farm here, and you build 3 across. You build 3 across, like here. I think, and then you build 3 across, and then you build 3 across, and you build 3 across, and it kind of just works out for itself. As now the heroic age comes through for Kimo, and he's motoring ahead. We'll see if he's going to be able to get to that mythic age in time here. There's a world here where Hera is actually a play here, because if you look at Matreiuss' base, Matreiuss is finished up in this home gold mine, underworlding over here from over on this top side, picking off this location here, lightning storming this entire army and starting to go into Medusa with Bellerophon coming out could be a way to really find an advantage here. But I think that the more safe advantage probably going to be just go for Hephaestus. But it looks like Kimo's not even trying to go straight to the Mythic Age. He's getting all of his upgrades instead. Now the Manticore doing what it can over here. We see the Hippicon coming in onto this position. The villager's going to be retreating back ever so slightly here. And there's the underworld. Oh, that's... Huh? What is this underworld? He sends 1 unit through it. As now the curse gets dropped. The Nemean Lion's pushing in. It's a nice defensive concave here from Kimo, though. Now more military academies coming up for Matreiuss as he needs to start transitioning away from his cavalry so hard. He does already have, look at this, he's got himself the Spirited Charge Hippicon, he's got himself heavy upgrades on his Hippicon, but they end up just not being that useful because Prodromus are just such a good counter against them, so you have to go into military unit, into military academy, into infantry units here. As Kimo has just literally just clicked that Underworld for no real reason. I don't know why he clicked Underworld. I imagine Matreiuss might even be able to go to the next age. She's got so much food in the bank. Market coming up into the corner in true Matreiuss fashion here. More walls coming up over here as well. So you can start a trade route here coming up soon. As these walls coming through, we'll see how things are all going to go. Is the army going to be retreating or pushing through onto this location? Going to be breaking through these walls. We see Matreiuss going for the double walls here. This is something that is more and more happening in Age of Mythology, and part of me says go for it, no worries, it's part of the game. But the other part of me wishes that like walls had a kind of a radius on you can't build close to this wall, but it's a hard life. Is now he's starting to see Matreiuss. He gets set up on this location. This is actually a really old, super strong army composition, which Matreiuss is going for. It's actually a hyper late game army composition because you actually need towers to make it achieve its full power. And it's Toxotes, Towers, Petropolis. The only thing that really beats it is Mass Heliopoli, which you can get in the late game. But without the towers here, you can oftentimes just break through this kind of an army. We do have a fortress here to help out quite a bit, so we'll see if that's going to help out or not, as we are seeing this wall getting broken down over here as the town center's getting closer and closer to falling. Kimo over here, he's going up through Hera. Hera at this point with the fortress here, you can just see 10 of those units getting garrisoned. You just don't get as much damage done at all. We'll see, like 4 Petropolis here. Do we see any upgrades coming through? No, it's just going to be Hera. Just absolutely terrifying for Kimo as he loses that town center. And there's still all these units alive. We just see a handful of units sitting here idly by for Matreiuss, just waiting for the front line to fall so they can get into the fight. Because now the Petropolis moving forward, going to start trying to take down this fortress over here. As the Hippicon coming in onto this position and be taking out those villagers as well, doing everything they can. But we do see a Metropolis coming in for Kimo. He's got one out, but he will be losing his fortress. Hera just about to pop, so we'll see if this is going to be enough for Kimo to get his town center back, but he is awfully far behind here. The Toxotes are going to be moving a little bit out of position, though, going to be greeted with that lightning storm. Matreiuss, on the other hand, he's going up through Artemis, so it's not even like he's going to be that far behind, because he's immediately going to be able to drop an earthquake here and get himself out those very, very strong Chimera, as all these Toxotes will be meeting their demise as the Metropolis pushing through here onto this position. Matreiuss drops down to what? 105 population. Kimo, on the other hand, still at exactly the same population. Does he get a Bellerophon out just yet? No, not yet. Where is his Medusa coming over here? Going to get some raids onto the enemy villages or something? I don't know where he's going with that, but a rally point a little bit funny there. His Matreiuss slowly pushing in, going to be able to take down that underworld passage. Not only that, we're also seeing raids coming through onto these villages while this is all going on. Matreiuss is so good at doing this. Matreiuss is like, he's always doing something else. You're like, okay, Matreiuss's main objective here is to prevent Kimo from getting this town center. So he's doing that. But while he's doing that, you still have all these other objectives, which is like raid my opponent, throw up side buildings, get economic upgrades, get all this other stuff. He's always doing something else. And this is what makes him so absurdly good at this game and so difficult to play against. We do see that this Medusa coming in. We do have ourselves some champion Hippocon there, but there's the Artemis coming in. I feel like just earthquaking this would be enough to kind of win the game, because there's so many military buildings here, and that's exactly what we're going to be seeing happen there. He picks off the underworld and a handful more buildings, and now we can see Kimo, he's going to be struggling even harder to get all of his production out. Like, he's got no military buildings anywhere else, and I think the Matreiuss knew that there. I mean, obviously, like an earthquake onto the hometown center probably would have been better, but you beggars can't be choosers. That was completely fine. I think Matreiuss just realizes how far he is ahead, so he doesn't care that it's not the best of uses there. As the Chimera going to come in, going to keep looking for villages to kill. We've still got these two military units targeting down these villages, slowly but surely picking them off. As the Polyphemus comes through, going to be asserting his dominance in this game. The Polyphemus is so strong here. As the Hippocon falling and Kimo is just falling ever so slightly behind. I mean, he's quite far behind, but let's check a quick look. Actually, we can look at when the game finishes, I think. I don't know what Kimo can do here. He's got no resources in the bank. He's got 99 population. He's lost all his villages over here. He doesn't have any gold mines anywhere else. Yeah, there's the tap out. It's a really well played game by Matreiuss. He loves using these kind of choke points here to take advantage of a defensive Zeus. And he does it so absurdly well, because he's also going to have Aphrodite here as well. I think that Zeus players have kind of got two options against Poseidon with Hermes. I think option number one is you go one town center and you go for a fast mythic behind the center. I think that's a really, really good play, and I don't think enough people give it a go. I think it can work absolute wonders, because you just go mass center and you just build nothing but center, and you can find yourself an advantage there. Then the second play, I don't believe you can realistically go 3 town centers against Poseidon here. I think you have to find an advantage elsewhere. I think you can go for like a 2 town center play and rush Mythic Age on high hunt, because you've got the map control making center, and you can go for like a Colossus all in, where you underworld the towns and you make your Colossus, you try and take this out. But I think maybe the play that is really, really not being used enough of, which I think is really, really strong, is Athena Cavalry. This is something that is super, super strong against Greek, and I think it's just not used enough. I think it's kind of forgotten about. And the idea is, especially with these new builds, is you can go for a 402 advance with Zeus, make your double stables, spam those Hippocon out. Your opponent's going to cast Ceasefire on this town center to get the town center up, and then after that, you're just playing as if you're 1 town center Zeus against 2 town center Poseidon, going for the Mythic Age, hitting an underworld full Hippocon underworld with Lightning Storm, and you find your win there. I think it's really, really strong, but it's not really been tried all too much. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.